I gotta admit, the new WoW expansion actually looks really good, and I was strongly considering buying it. But so far I haven't, and I'm not sure that will change in the near future. And while this doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, it is weird on a personal level. I've played this game since I was a little shitter, and this is the first expansion I have ever skipped. And usually, playing a new expansion on launch is the most fun. The meta is still forming, everything is mostly up for exploration, and the player base is at its peak. The UI team is doing Gordon Ramsay levels of work, and I haven't even touched on the entire add-on situation. I won't lie to you, they cooked. So why am I so conflicted with buying the game? Seems like now would be a good point in time. Maybe, by the end of this video, you can either understand where I'm coming from, or just think that I'm too stuck up in the past. Let me start off by saying that I have some concerns with how Blizzard has been monetizing their games these past few years, or have been communicating about it. And this isn't an issue with World of Warcraft specifically, but could showcase an ongoing pattern with Blizzard in general. Firstly, I want to talk about World of Warcraft and the WoW token specifically. And before you roll your eyes and click off the video, hear me out first. Or don't.
Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
Even though the token got introduced during VOD, I think its use got more ingrained over the years.
We will never be slaves!
While you can farm gold in game and buy your playtime this way, I think most people do it the other way around. Of course, this is only an assumption on my part, but I don't think this feature would have existed for such a long time if Blizzard was losing money with it. If that assumption is correct, then we have been inflating the in-game economy over the years. And if you didn't buy in,
like if you're a broke boy, just say so.
For me, the bigger issue is that the game can become almost completely pay to win. Not for me specifically, because I can't even afford Pokemon's cookies. But most things achievable in-game can be bought with gold nowadays. Levels can be boosted, Mythic Plus and raids as well. I mean, fuck it. Even Asmongold got himself some boosters to carry him through Gladiator while playing Prot Warrior so he wouldn't die.
Coins.
And this kind of alleviates the reason as to why I would play a video game in the first place. And I know people will say that this is completely optional, and to some degree probably very niche. But I wonder, if there truly is such a small demand for this, why was the LFG tool filled with want-to-sell groups? So much so that Blizzard had to ban sellers from spamming LFG. And while I have no clue how it is in Midnight, I still remember installing an add-on during Dragonflight that would just block sell messages in trade chat. And that motherfucker was putting in work. Together with the microtransaction shop, this slowly but surely killed my motivation to farm transmog or mounts, which was a big part of why I even enjoyed the game outside of rated content. If I could get ahead of the curve by simply swiping my credit card harder than the last time, does it really matter? Early on, I briefly mentioned my issue with Blizzard's communication regarding monetary topics. I still remember the turning point for me, where my trust for Blizzard was ultimately shattered. When they announced the trading post, I was really hyped. Having a free cosmetic battle pass for WoW, since we already paid a subscription anyways, was a godsend move for collectors. And even better, Blizzard announced that they didn't have plans on selling the currency individually in the shop, which to this day they didn't. What they've done instead is raising the overall prices of new items in the first few months, which made it feel like you could buy less and less items each iteration, and ultimately including the trading tenders in purchasable bundles.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Now you are fair to say that this is a very minor offense, if at all, and I would agree with you if there hadn't been other similar occurrences in other Blizzard franchises. A few years prior to that, Blizzard proudly announced the new big hitter in one of their most beloved franchises. Diablo
Do you guys not have phones?
Immortal.
Is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No.
Ignoring everything else, they promised to not sell gear or their upgrades for money.
Stop the cap!
And while this was technically true as well, we all saw how this turned out. In case you don't remember, or by some sort of miracle missed what happened, you could buy gems by heavily boosting their drop rates, and oh boy, Did that impact your character's power? And while I understand that games at the end of the day are products as well and are supposed to make money, you will never be able to convince me that the loot system in Overwatch 2 was an improvement to the original game. I get that loot boxes can be very exploitative, but Overwatch was very fair in that regard. You were easily able to purchase a few event skins every time they were up without spending
Money!
Now how long do you think you would have to grind weekly challenges in Overwatch 2 if you want to purchase a single fucking legendary skin? If you've guessed anything below 7 to 8 months,
You serious?
oh my sweet summer child. But that was the math during the re-release. I haven't checked in again since then.
Monsieur, does this mean Overwatch is back?
No.
And on a side note, why the fuck is the Hearthstone Battleground Battle Pass more expensive on phone than on PC? These things personally added up over time and made me skeptical about how Blizzard wants to monetize their games. Seeing these events unfold, not only in WoW, made me think that those were not decisions made by chance, but rather by design. And suspecting all of this made me very conflicted about buying the new expansion at all. For example, Classic Plus is a topic that I covered in my last video, and which I want to be very hopeful about. But even looking at how Classic re-releases have been handled, I can't stop to wonder. Will there be level boosts? Will there be WoW tokens? What about an in-game shop? If these things don't matter to you, great. You've adapted to the modern gaming world. For me personally, it would ruin the experience. If it were up to me, I would remove all microtransactions from all games. And I know that this is a battle that has been long lost. I mean, the Roach King himself sacrificed his godly heresy and still wasn't able to make a change. So to meet in the middle, at least don't demand a sub as well as a box price, and still diminish in-game achievements by selling stuff for money. But that's exactly how WoW is monetized. And if you think that the money is actually being used to make the games better, instead of giving Bobby his 6th or 7th yard, you've been too heavy on that copium. Just look at the recent viral Jeff Kaplan interview. I'm just not convinced that these quotas and extra dollars are used to make a better product. And neither do I think that Jeff's situation was a single occurrence either. Even though this video was pretty negative, I don't expect people to suddenly unsub from the game. I understand, everybody's dealing with situations differently. If you genuinely enjoy Midnight right now, I'm actually very happy for you. I had played and mained this game for over a decade now, and I think subbing and buying the game when it's good and unsubbing when it's bad is a very fair approach. I just personally feel that if I have complaints about the game, but still sub and buy every expansion or patch, they don't really mean anything. Blizzard is still getting in my pockets consistently.
Yeah, boy.
So why should they listen?
We do not care.
Almost every patch is going through a very similar cycle. The new expansion launches very strong, new mechanics are poorly implemented, and in the last patch, almost everything is polished perfectly. And that's why I'm kind of in the mix with all of this. The game currently looks really good, and I see so many people enjoying it, to the point where I'm left to wonder, am I just stuck in the past, and Blizzard has truly changed for the better? Or am I rightfully suspicious of what has happened? Let me know how you feel about all of this in the comments below. And with that being said,
Time is money, friend.